Hey guys, Notter here, and today I have week 7 of the UBC League, where the Memphis Guzzlords, that's us, take on the Texas Tyrantrums, that's Reckless Bat. If you've heard of him, I'll be honest, I've never heard of him before this game, so I do not have any background knowledge about him. But based off of his draft, this man knows how to draft. If he started off with this draft, he knows how to draft. Like Manaphy, that's a threat. Zardex, that's also a threat. Yooo Queen, that's a great pick. Let's see, Crobat, great speed. So my point is, even though I know nothing about him, he has a good team. So I should assume he's a good player. Just saying. If they have a good draft, you can assume they're pretty good. So matchup-wise, it's a bit tough, but overall I think it's a bit even. I think it's even. I'll explain. So Manaphy is obviously a huge threat, but at the same time we also have some good counters to it, or answers to it. Raiku's a pretty good answer, if it's not Conberry. And then Scarf Bulu is a pretty good answer if it's not Rindoberry. Keep in mind, Manaphy is a Z-move user. So I predicted him to actually bring Z Radiance versus our team. Well, my team. Because look. Because Scarf +1 outspeeds Halucha, dead. Let's see, Zygarde dead. Easy. Halucha dead. So my point is, after a +1 speed, it just demolishes. Especially when it gets a tail blow. You know what I'm saying? It just demolishes. So I was really expecting a Z Rain Dance. I don't know why I blanked out for a second. But yeah, Pokemon that I really don't regard as threats include Crobat, to be honest. Because look, I have 3 good flying resists, and I have a lot of power to take it on, including Zygarde, Mega Camerupt. Pango obviously can't, but my point is I have a lot of good stuff to take it on. Zardex is also a pretty big threat, obviously. That is probably the biggest threat to my team. Just look, I mean, what beats it out? Mantine can't even beat it, and it can even run Thunder Punch. Mega Camerupt has to be really defensive, and even then it can run Earthquake. So I need some sort of lure to beat Zard, or maybe Scarf and Helico to beat it. Point is, Zard's a threat. Whimsicott looks annoying. Besides that, to be honest, nothing's too significant. Now, looking at our side, Mega Camerupt, alright, look. Alright, so I see 2 ground resistant Mewtwo's, or 2 things on ground. Whimsicott and Crobat, but they don't get demolished. They get demolished by Fire Blast. So Mega Camerupt's a god versus Sky's. Mega Camerupt's really good. Bulu, I've mentioned you can take on Manaphy. Bulu's also pretty good versus. He has a lot of grass resist. Escavalier, Whimsicott, Zard, Crobat, but these 2 get bopped by Stone Edge, Crobat and Zard. Okay, they can live with Stone Edge, but they can't switch in safely on Scarf Bulu. Escavalier. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a free camel switch. Assuming I can bring it in when it's not going for a drill run. And so my point is, Bulu puts it in. So Camel and Bulu, these are the good Pokemon versus team. Porygon 2 eats up a ton from his team, and it can dish out good damage too. So that's why I think the matchup's balanced. He has some great mods, but so do I. And yeah, let's get on to the team. Moving on to the team builder, I thought Jirachi was a really good mod versus his team. It generally checked a lot of stuff, but in general, I just thought it was a good check to everything. So I brought Energy Ball. Energy Ball might be weird, but he has a Seismitoad and a Manaphy, and those 2 water types are pretty good versus my team. So I think it's nice to have coverage versus them, and that's also the reason why I've Shuck and Berry. He has 2 pretty scary ground types. So that lets me switch in comfortably if I have to make sure I don't die, or to kind of lure them, possibly with the Energy Ball for Seismitoad, really. Psychic, he should expect Psychic coverage. I mean, that's not really luring. And then U-turn for Momentum. Toxic is for Necrozma, just to beat it. If it's a setup Necrozma, just to help me beat it, wear it down. Other than that, Toxic's not really useful, but Necrozma, if it sets up versus my team, it's pretty much a GG, so I need that Toxic to help me wear it down. EV spread, pretty simple, max. Reason why? Well, it's a speed tie with Manaphy and Zard, because if I win the speed tie, I get off crucial damage, which is really good. Max special attack, because really, I didn't need much bulk. I mentioned that this can check Crobat, but if Crobat has Super Fang, the defense won't really matter. And so Super Fang is really the only way it can harm Jirachi. Besides, like, Nasty Flash Shadow Ball, which is pretty weird. Moving on, we got the Porygon 2. I mentioned Porygon 2 does, like, eat hits pretty well. And so, pretty standard moveset. Bolt Beam coverage. Ice Beam, because he has a lot of things weak to ice, like Whimsicott, Crobat, Nidoqueen. Thunderbolt, because he has some things weak to Thunderbolt, I guess, like Manaphy. And also Crobat, but Ice Beam. Point is, like, Bolt Beam is really good versus his team. Obviously, Bolt Beam is always good. T-Wave is for Zardex, really. And Manaphy if it's not Rain Dance. Just to cripple his setup sweepers, which are super scary. Also, he has no Heal Bell user on his team, so having Thunder Wave is just good because he can just spam it, to be honest. I don't like to be one of those players, but I'm saying I have this for the threats, for the ones that can set up and beat me entirely. I'm not going to just spam T-Wave randomly. No, I'm not one of those people. Though in this game, you'll see later. You'll see what I mean. Recover for obvious reasons. Recovery. Trace, because the other two abilities weren't as useful, I felt. And tracing his abilities would be pretty useful, like such as Whimsicott's Prankster, so I can get off with Prankster T-Wave if I ever need to, or Prankster Recover, and then Infiltrator off Crobat in case he has Subbonds, just lets me get through. And yeah, that's about it. Light, of course. Boosted defenses, why not? Yeah, so moving on, we got the Zard Exler, basically, with the Habon Berry. Half the damage from the Dragon type attack. And I mentioned I need a lure for Zard, because Zard's a huge threat. Zard's the biggest threat. And yeah, looking at this moveset, Zygarde can't really set up and sweep. I mean, he has a Whimsicott. That shuts down Zygarde entirely. Like, here, I have Sludge Wave, just to try to catch it on the switch, or maybe just stand and just go for Sludge Wave to see what happens. 1,000 Arrows, good stab, cripples Zard pretty well. Although, 1,000 Arrows does not kill. That's why I have Glare. Glare is to paralyze it first, then go for 1,000 Arrows. Because if I go for 1,000 Arrows, it won't kill. And then he just kills me, and let's say he has a DD up, it just wins, pretty much. Only if Camerupt or Mantine can somehow beat it. You'll see their sets in it. Yeah, that's why I have Glare. Extreme Speeds for Priority. Priority is always nice to have. And yeah, moving on. The EV spread. Okay, so we got max HP to ensure our bulk, of course. Speed is to outspeed a timid or jolly Nidoqueen, which is unlikely, but honestly, I needed some speed, so I was like, oh, okay, let's just speed creep up to the Nidoqueen, because why not? And arrested attack, because I didn't need that much in defense-wise to take a Dragon Claw pretty well. I just needed mostly max HP is just about what I needed. I believe around +1, a Dragon Claw would do about 50 to 60% with the Habon Berry. So, just to give you an idea, and I only need to take one Dragon Claw to beat it. I don't need to worry about taking multiple. That's why I made it still pretty offensive, despite needing it to take a hit. We got Wham! We got Tapu Bulu. Scarf Bulu, I already mentioned this before, it's just really good versus team. It outspeeds Crobat, outspeeds Zardex before a DD, it outspeeds Manaphy if it doesn't get a Z Rain Dance. And yeah, it outspeeds things like Nidoqueen. What else was on the team? Necrozma, so really good speed control for me. So Woodhammer, strong stab of course, no need to explain. Stone Edge is for Zardex and Crobat. I guess it also hits Whimsicott, but that's the thing. The reason why I have Nature's Madness is honestly just for Whimsicott. Bulu has no other attacks to really hit it hard. I did the calcs. Woodhammer honestly did 40 max. And let's see, it has Smart Strike, but that did only 1% more than Woodhammer. So yeah, Horn Leech is for recovery, of course, that's why I have it. Looking at the speed, the EVs, the speed is to outspeed Crobat, because that's the fastest thing on the team naturally. And we got put the rest in EVs, and put the rest in HP, why not? Max attack. Moving on, we got Mantine. Mantine is really here to really help me check Crobat in case Jirachi gets weakened, and to also, as an emergency answer to Manaphy and Zard. X. That's why I have Haze to help me, you know, just eliminate the stat changes, of course. If it DD's up, Haze, bye-bye. If Manaphy tail goes up, Haze, bye-bye. Am I worried about HP Electric on from Manaphy? Honestly, no. Because, see, he has... So, if he's going to be Z Rain Dance, which is what I predict, because I think it's really good versus my team, he's going to need Rain Dance, of course. He's going to need Tail Glow to actually hit hard. And he's going to need Water Stab, right, to actually, you know, hit things hard. And then things that resist water, like Mantine, right? But then there's also Bulu. Now, Bulu obviously gets beaten by Ice Beam. Mantine, HP Electric, two completely different moves. So, really, it comes down for him which Pokemon's the bigger threat. And if you ask me, definitely Bulu. That's why I think he's going to go Ice Beam and not HP Electric. And let's say he has all three. Well, then he's not. Then he doesn't have Z Rain. Oh wait, what do I mean by all three? Sorry. Let's say he has 3 attacks in Tail Glow. Then he doesn't have the speed boost from Rain Dance. So Bulu can outspeed a Revenge Killer. That's why I'm not worried about. That's why I think this these two Pokemon can beat Manaphy pretty well. You know, other moves. Roost for recovery, of course. Defog, because he can potentially bring T-Spikes on Nidoqueen, which would be bad for these 4, you know, Camera Up, and then these 3. So that's why I want Defog. Scald for, you know, attack, of course. Moving on. The King. We got the King! Camera Up hits super hard versus his team. I already explained this. HP Grass is for Seismitoad. Just keep in mind, the combination of Earth Power and HP Grass kill it. So I don't need to, like, have to predict HP Grass on the switch. I just need to go for Earth Power then HP Grass. Fire Blast and Hidden Grass doesn't kill them. I have switches to Seismitoad, I'm not really afraid. And Stealth Rock, because of course I need Stealth Rock, so you can't win without Stealth Rocks. EV spread, pretty simple. Gave it a few speed EVs just to, in case he tries to speed creep with his Escavalier. Because, you know, after Camera Mega evolves, it becomes 20 speed, which is the same as Escavalier. You know, max special attack, ensures hitting hard, rest in HP, because where else would it go? Yeah, I think that explains the team. Let's get on with the game. Alright, so looking at the replay, we can tell that Reckless Bat was not messing around while team building. He brought Manaphy, Nidoqueen, and Zardex, the big 3 that demolished my team. He brought Whimsicott as well, which checks Bulu and Zygarde, which would have been huge threats had Whimsicott not been there. And Seismitoad and Conkeldurr are pretty good support mons. Seismitoad gets some Rock Slam, you know, checks things like Camera, can knock off Porygon 2's Upbeat. Conkeldurr also checks Porygon 2 really well, which I mentioned had a pretty good time versus his team. I was pretty surprised Conkeldurr came. Like, I can see why, definitely, for Porygon 2, and also its coverage hits it hits my team super hard. Like, okay, Thunder Punch possibly, but even then, like, Knock Off hits this hard. Drain Punch hits this thing hard. Ice Punch, Knock Off, Drain Punch, Knock Off, Drain Punch. Like, again, it doesn't even need to think much to hit hard. As in, he doesn't really need to make many predictions with it. So it's a good Pokemon in hindsight. But yeah, looking at this team, Camera Up demolishes his team. I mean, look, his Ground Resist gets toasted. And then also mentioned, you know, we have great HP Grass. You know, this Camera Up this Conkeldurr won't take a Fire Blast. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. Also, looking at the rest of this team, Jirachi looks really good, and that's why I wanted to lead off with it, because Jirachi, it either hits super effectively or can just U-turn out so a different Pokemon can come in. That's why I really want to lead off with it. And so let's see how that works out. Jirachi does really well against everything but the Zard, which of course he leads off with. So, with that being said, I'd have to risk a speed time to just U-turn out, but I wouldn't want to risk the speed time. You could go for a Flare Blitz turn 1, bam, bye-bye. And without Jirachi, I'd be really set back here. So I hard switch out into Zygarde. Now, as you see, he doesn't go for a Dragon Dance. He goes for a Swords Dance. Now, a Swords Dance, in hindsight, like again, not really in hindsight, more like in the battle, it made more sense to me why it brings Swords Dance, because Dragon Dance, the speed isn't as significant as just being able to bam, hit really hard. So the Swords Dance really scared me, but I remember, I have the Habit Berry, so worst case scenario, I'm good. I can take the Dragon Claw, hit him with a Glare, and then attack. So I go for that Glare. If he switches out, he pretty much figured it out. As he goes into Seismitoad, I go for the Glare. Paralyzed Seismitoad doesn't mean much to be honest, because it wasn't really that fast in the first place. At least now I'm pretty sure Mega Camper can do that. So. But yeah, now I go to Jirachi, because here's the thing. I had a Zygarde out, so Earthquake wouldn't do much, because Zygarde's pretty defensive, especially with Max HP. So I realized, okay, he's either going to Rocks, maybe Scald, but I don't see why, because I have a Mantine, or Knockoff, or Ice Punch. So my point is, like, in a way, like, going to Jirachi wouldn't be that bad, because Knockoff won't hit too hard, but it's not that good of a stat. At this point, I really thought he'd switch out Scouting for the grass coverage, because, I mean, he has some good, he has a pretty good grass resist to go into to scout for that move. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, it's only like the biggest threat versus my team, but, alas, he stays in, I go for Psychic. Now, I don't blame him at all for this, but I didn't mean that to sound like he's a bad player, because standard Jirachi, or more normal Jirachi would be physical, right? And a physical Jirachi can't even touch Psychic at all, so I don't blame him for saying it. I really don't. So, yeah, and then I was like, oh, shoot. As he goes for a knockoff. And it's only this 43, like I said, didn't do much. So now I'm just thinking, okay, do I Energy Ball now? Should I switch out now? Or, you know, another Psychic will kill, and I die to an Earthquake here. So I just go for Energy Ball. Let's see how that works out. Fortunately, he stays in. Oh, okay, so Seismitoad being gone, what does that mean? Well, overall, it makes room for Porygon 2, because Seismitoad was the thing that it can eat up Ice Beam, right? And then knock off Idea, so it was an annoying thing out of the way for Porygon. Thing that could eat 1,000 arrows is now gone. And with that being said, his water immunity is gone, so Mantine isn't completely involved by one of his Pokemon. Let's move on. So he brings out the Zardex. Ooh! This is getting pretty bad, right? I mean, Zardex again. He can go for a Dragon Claw right here if he predicts this right, but fortunately he goes for Fire Punch. Fire Punch makes sense because he probably didn't want to take recoil from hitting Bulu and Jirachi. So now, again, same process. Gotta get the glare off and then 1,000 arrows. But then he goes into Conkeldurr, and I was like, why didn't I see this coming? I mean, Guts boosted Conkeldurr. Like, Conkeldurr was scary enough already, but now it's Guts boosted. So, like, at this point, I just realized, okay, I have to stay. I don't want to sack off anything else. Mantine would be... I wouldn't mind going to Mantine, but it is my emergency answer to these two fools, so I should keep that alive. Camerupt, I really wanted to keep healthy because it broke his team really well. And it's a really good revenge killer for Conkeldurr, too, now that it's paralyzed. So I go for 1,000 arrows, just staying in. Really, this is, of all the things I want to take damage, would be Zygarde. He knocks off my Habon Berry, which wouldn't matter at this point because I was in range. And I go for another 1,000 arrows, doing decent damage. Now that paralysis. How much did it matter? I'll get on with it later. I'll get on with it. Trust me. See, as you can see, I go for another 1,000 arrows, which realistically, I think that indicates he was going to sack it anyway. Because, like, what would you want with a 23.6% Conkeldurr that is paralyzed? Like, why would you want that later on? My point is, I think he'd sack. I think after I'd go into Camerupt, he'd just sack it off to that thing. Because he doesn't really have a good switch into Camerupt. Best switch in is Manaphy, which takes like 70 from Earth Power. That's not a good switch in. So my point is, like, I think he'd sack it off either way. Obviously, I would have lost Psycho. That's a significant thing. I would have lost Psycho. How much would losing Zygarde matter? We'll see in the game. When I say in the game, I mean right about now. I just sack it off here. I have no use for Zygarde anymore because it can't even check Zard. So bye-bye. Now I go into Camerupt. Now we're inside. Camerupt can demolish this thing. But I've already mentioned this a lot. But the thing is he going to stay in, or is he going to go to Wind Scout? That was a big question. Like, do I Earth Power? Do I Fire Blast? Do I Earth Power? Do I Fire Blast? I just spoiled it for you. I go for Stealth Rock. I screwed that up. I'm so sorry. But, yeah, I go for Stealth Rock, which I think was a more optimal play, because he never brought Hazard Control. So that means the Zardex now takes Rock damage, which makes it, assuming it doesn't have much bulk, in range of a Bulu Stone Edge. So that's really good. And as we see, it has Sword Stance. It does not have Dragon Dance. It could have both. But that'd be kind of weird, because, like, a coverage move being, like, either Earthquake or Thunder Punch would be way more useful, or Roost would be way more useful than that as well, because recovery. Alright, so I switch out here, because he could potentially encore, and I go into Porygon 2, which now traces the Pranks. Now he goes for a Tailwind. How bad is this? This is pretty scary. Now these 3 Pokemon, which are so good versus my team, now they outspeed everything. So I was like, shoot, that's pretty bad. At this point, I thought he'd go into Manaphy as a hard switch, because Manaphy, would chew the Ice Beam, and then he'd have a Manaphy and on Tailwind, so I couldn't really switch out. I'd have to stand. Point is, I go for Thunderbolt, but he stays in his switcheroo, so I get the Lagging Tail. And I'm like, damn, does that? I was really confused for it. I was like, does that affect Prankster? Does Prankster still go first? It doesn't really matter here because he has Prankster as well. And now I realize, okay, he's gonna stand, so I go for the Ice Beam. Unfortunately, he gets I got a special attack drop, so this Ice Beam does not do much. As you can see, only 35%. Now I realize, okay, probably should recover because I'd be a little too low after the next move blast. But he knows that, and he goes for Taunt. This man's in my head. All right, so this is looking really bad. Is he gonna stand? Is he gonna stand? Probably, because Tailwind wore off. Now, with that being said, I go into my Jirachi. Because Jirachi, as you can see, he goes for Tailwind. Jirachi really is in a really good position here, because Psychic just demolishes everything right here. Okay, it doesn't kill Manaphy, but it hits it hard. Kills Nidoqueen. It's really hard. So my point is, like, having Jirachi in is really good. So what does he do? He goes for another Moon Blast. I guess praying for a special attack drop. But no, I go for the Psychic, and it dies. Ooh, let's see what he brings out next. He brings out the Zard. Now, am I ready to sack off Jirachi to Zard? Because I don't beat it in a speed tie because Tailwind's up. I'm not ready yet because Jirachi's still really good versus the Nidoqueen. And also getting a speed tie off later in the future, now that I can't get up Tailwind anymore, is really good. So I go into... Oh, shoot. I screwed that up, didn't I? This was the turn I go for Psychic. Reason why is because I was predicting to SC. I'm really sorry. I watched this replay, but I guess I got it wrong. See, here I go into Mantine, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. So here I go into Mantine as I chew the Fire Punch. Now, at this point, he could Roost, he could possibly kill me off with another move. He could go for another setup move, like another Swords Dance. So that's why I go for Haze. Because if he Roosts and I Haze, well, by +2. And also it stalls out the last turn Tailwind, which wouldn't matter. But my point is like, if I Haze no matter what, I'm safe. I'm safe. Because if I Haze and he kills me off, well, if he kills me off before I can Haze, well, I got the Scarf Bulu. If he tries to set up again, well, Haze obviously negates that. And so no matter what, at the end of the day, I just go to Camerupt after and get off a huge Earth Power. But he chooses to go for a Dragon Claw. I want to talk about that play. He asked me, hey, after the game, he's like, hey, what move would you go for if I, went for another SC? I was like, oh, I went for Haze. He's like, oh, interesting. I was thinking about Roosting, so, just to give you an idea. His last move was Roost. It wasn't like any extra coverage move. Or any coverage move. So I go for the Wood Hammer here, because it's in range. So now we don't even need to go for Stone Edge and have him go to Nidoqueen for free. Because I get off a huge Wood Hammer off of anything here. Then he sends in Nidoqueen, and it does it can eat up a Wood Hammer if it even has some HP. It only needs some HP to take a Wood Hammer. So I decided to switch out into Porygon 2. Because it still takes the hit really well. Watch. Only to 34, and considering I don't have Ebulight, that's not bad. So I go for the Recover here because I want to get recovery. And he goes hard into me. Now this was a tough play. Because if he went for the Z Rain Dance, what do you think about it? I'm kind of screwed. I mean, I could hard switch the move, but then... Yeah, but then what if he Ice Beams on the switch? You know what I'm saying? It'd be pretty weird because I have a Porygon 2 out, but he could make that prediction. With that being said, if I stay in Thunderbolt or T-Wave, well, what if T-Wave's not useful because he just goes with the Z Rain Dance and he heals himself from the status? Thunderbolt won't do enough. So my point is that I can't leave in Porygon 2. I have to try to switch out to keep my momentum that I have right here, because I'm very close to winning. If you can see, I have like only 2 Pokemon left, in which the rest of my team can handle pretty well. So yeah, it's this turn that can determine whether or not I win or lose. I could stand and get off a Thunderbolt for damage, but then the next turn he can go for that Z Rain Dance, which I assume he has, and just sweep me from there. It would be an easy GG for him. So I choose to hard switch out into Bulu, and you'll see what happens. Fortunately for me, he goes for a Tail Claw. And so now he could be Rindoberry. I mean, he hasn't revealed an item yet. He could be Rindoberry. So I was pretty scared, but I knew I outspeed it. So I just stand and go for a Woodhammer, because why not? And as you can see, thankfully he's not Rindoberry. So I'm really assuming he was Z Rain Dance. And, you know, it sounds really good. Big threat gone. And I pretty much got this. He can't beat the rest of my team. The Neo Queen can't. Especially since, as you see, it's Scarfed. So I have a Jirachi right here, which is immune, so I just go into that. In hindsight, I wish I went to Cameron to give it a kill, but alas, Cameron was the biggest threat versus his team, did not get a single kill. That was my fault, though. So, you know, we take W, 3-0. So, really happy about this game. And I want to go back to the, I know I already went over it, but I want to go about that paralysis with the Conkeldurr. That turn was fully paralyzed. In the end, I don't think it mattered because I could have gone to Camrupt afterwards. And how would it have played out differently? Honestly, I just think the turns would have just been about the same. Like, you know, I go into Camrupt, kill off the Conkeldurr. He could go into Nidoqueen or Nidoqueen or Manaphy, which I would be in that same position that I was in with Porygon 2 versus Manaphy, where I try to go into Bulu safely. And with Nidoqueen, I just go into Porygon 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point is, I don't think that paralysis mattered at all. I think I had it. I think it would have eventually gone the same, the game that is. So, we're 3-0, boys. Well, I mean, this game. Now we're up 5-2 with the team. And so, when I first joined, it was 2-2. Now it's 5-2. So, you know, we're looking good. We're looking good. We, so far, are in a pretty comfortable position to make playoffs, but that cannot be guaranteed. We still have a few more games to go, and let them look easy. So, well, except next week. You know, I'll tell you why next week. But, yeah. So, you know, pretty good. Pretty happy with how this game turned out. And hope you guys did too. And see you guys later. Goodbye.